Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. So one of my fondest memories growing up at Grandma's house was eating her chile colorado. That nice tender beef or pork, nice spicy red chili. So on today's video, I'm gonna be making a chile colorado sausage. Stay tuned. All right, let's get started on the chile colorado sausages. To start, we're gonna make our sauce. So I've got about 20 guajillo chili peppers here, and all I'm gonna do is take off the stem and some of the seeds. So when the guajillo pepper is fresh, that's when it's a guajillo pepper, okay? Once it's dried like this, it becomes a mirasol chile. So if you go to the store to buy these peppers and you see mirasol, that is a guajillo pepper. Now the guajillo pepper is naturally red, and once it's dry, it gets this nice kind of a purplish color. So I'm just gonna continue to take the seeds out, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got 3 quarts of water. I am using my Heston Q induction burner, and this thing works fantastic if you're doing any cooking on your counter. So I've got the chili pods. Again, if you have some of the seeds in the pods, it's okay. Just put it in the boiling water. We're gonna boil these chilies for 5 minutes. Shut the induction burner off and let them sit in the water for about 5 minutes. Just push all the peppers under the water. I'll bring you guys back as I pull them off. Stay tuned. All right, so the chilies are ready, and I did put them inside my blender. So I'm gonna add about a cup of water. Use the same hot water that you boiled your chilies in, just like that. I'm gonna add 2 cloves of garlic, half of a small onion, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cumin. Okay, just throw it all in there. Actually, that's not enough water. I'm gonna add probably another half a cup of water. There we go. I'm gonna blend this up. All right, so I've got my sieve right here. And what we're gonna do is just pour the red chili and sift it. This is gonna get all the seeds and also some of the chili skin out. All we want is that red chili. All right, so here's the chile colorado. Now I did take the pulp and put that back inside the blender with a cup of water and blended it again just to get a little bit more chile colorado, and we got about 3.5 cups. So I'm gonna move this aside and get the meat ready. Stay tuned. All right, so here's the list of ingredients. I'm also gonna leave these in the description box if you guys wanna take a look at them. But I'm using 145 grams of salt, 55 grams of black pepper, 20 grams of cumin or comino, 45 grams of onion powder, 50 grams of paprika, 12 grams of oregano, 40 grams of garlic powder, 5.5 teaspoons of the speed cure, 19 pounds of beef brisket, and then 8 pounds of pork shoulder. I'm also using 3 to 4 cups of the chile colorado that I made. That's all gonna depend on the consistency of the meat before I case it. And I'm also gonna be using 2 pounds of finely diced potatoes. All right, so I've got a 14-pound choice brisket right here. Here's the 8 pounds of boneless pork shoulder. And some of you guys have been asking what I use my brisket trimmings for. So for these sausages, I'm gonna use these brisket trimmings from my last video. So this is 5 pounds of trimmings. Now I'm just gonna cube these up into small cubes, just small enough to fit down the throat of my grinder. All right, so I'm gonna cube up this meat, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the meat all cubed up. Now I did have all of the grinding equipment inside the freezer for a little bit, but I do have the pork shoulder and parts of that brisket that were still frozen, so we're gonna be okay. So here we go. All right, so I've got all of the meat ground up, and by the way, I am using a 4.5 millimeter plate. Now this meat is still nice and cold because we had those frozen pieces in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my mixer set up and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got all 27 pounds of the ground meat in my mixer here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my dry ingredients. All right, time to mix it up. All right, so with these sausages, I'm not gonna add any water. I'm gonna add some of the red chili. Remember, we started with 3.5 cups. So I'm adding about 1.5 cups right now. Okay, let's mix it up. All right, so I can tell that it does need some more liquid. So I'm gonna add about another cup of the red chili. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add the last cup of red chili. So the last ingredient that I'm adding are the diced potatoes, and you can see how small they are. And you want to dice them nice and small so that they cook, so you don't have a raw potato inside your sausage. Again, I'm adding 2 pounds of diced potatoes. All right, let me check that protein extraction. It feels nice and sticky, and I think that we are there. Just make a small patty on your hand. It doesn't fall off that easy. There we go. So I'm gonna make a patty of this, fry it up, give it a taste, make sure we're okay on the seasonings, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so we got the patty fried up, and look at that, grease has a nice red color to it. Let's give it a shot and see if we need to add any spices. It's gonna give me a good piece. Here we go. Sweet baby Jesus, this is absolutely delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and get the stuffer ready, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got my stuffing canister. Just gonna go ahead and load the sausage mixture in there. And just a reminder to take out all the air pockets so that you don't blow your sausage casing. All right, so I've got my stuffer set up. Next process is just to lower the piston a little bit and get that sausage mixture all the way to the end of your horn. Just like that. And then back off the handle. All right, so I do have my sausage casings right here, and they have been sitting in warm water for about 30 minutes now. So they're nice and warmed up and pliable. So just find the end, and what you want to do is stick 2 fingers in there, just enough to pick up some water from your water bowl. Just like that. At this point, go ahead and put some water in your horn. Just like that. And slide on your casing. All right, so we're going to tie a knot at the end of the casing right here. Just a simple knot, nice and tight. Right, now one thing I like to do is put some ice water on your tray. Just helps the casings slide a little bit, and it keeps the sausage nice and cold as well. All right, let's start stuffing. Here we go. Look at that nice, beautiful red color. These are going to be delicious. Beautiful. All right, guys, I want to get these casings stuffed up, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got these sausages all stuffed up. Now it's time to go ahead and twist them. And I do have this pan marked at 6.5 inches because I like them at 6.5 inches. I think 6.5 is the perfect size. So just measure 6.5 inches and pinch, another 6.5 inches and pinch as well. And then from this point, you can either twist nice and slow, or I like to twirl them just like this. okay? To me, that's just easier. Now, you wanna get them nice and plump. When they're like this, that's when you stop, okay? So measure another 6.5 inches and pinch right here. So one of the things that I've learned is not to overstuff your casings, because this is the last step really, and this is where you can really firm them up. So when I say pinch, make sure your fingers touch each other, okay? And if they don't, just gently work it in there until you can touch your fingers through the casing, okay? Once it's like that, then you can just twirl, okay? And stop twirling once you get that nice plump sausage. Let me do one more for you guys. Gently work it, don't force it because you can pop your casing. And at this point, just twist. Okay, just like that. All right, I got a lot of twisting to do. I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got all these sausages twisted up. Now these are gonna sit in my fridge overnight. That's gonna allow the casing to dry up a little bit and develop a pellicle on the surface of the sausage, and that's what the smoke is gonna stick to. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna fire up my Yoda Frontiersman, run it at a very low 130 degrees. I'll see you then. All right, so it's the very next morning. We're outside at my Yoda Frontiersman. Time to load it up with some of the Jealous Devil lump charcoal. Now the Jealous Devil lump charcoal is gonna be the base for my fire. Remember, we need to run this pit at 140 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and ignite the lump charcoal. I am using my grill gun right here. Check out the links below. All right, there we go. Now the next step is I'm going to put a small piece of wood on top of that Jealous Devil lump charcoal. All right, so as you can see, it didn't take very long for that split to catch. If you guys want to see the log splitter that I use in this video, check out the links below to my Amazon store. I'm gonna let the smoker come up to 140 degrees. I'll bring you guys back in a bit. All right, so I've got my smoker running at 140 degrees. I do have all of my sausage links here. Now I did separate them using some kitchen shears, just cut right in between the twist when you twisted the sausages. So I'm just gonna be cooking on my Yoda Frontiersman on the top shelf on both sides, both the left and the right, unless I can fit them all on one shelf. You want to make sure that you give the sausages enough space in between. That way the smoke can circulate all the way around these sausages. All right, so there you have it. I've got all of these sausages laid out inside my smoker. Now I did have to put some on the left side of my smoker that you can see there on the bottom. So we're gonna let these smoke for a couple of hours at 140 degrees. At that point, I'll bring you guys back. All right, so these sausages have been smoking for 2.5 hours. And look at that beautiful color. So I have been monitoring the temperatures of my sausages. The left side is 129 degrees and the right side is 123 degrees. Now this ThermoPro wireless thermometer does have this receiver that I take inside the house with me, and I can monitor the temperatures that way. So check out this nice, plump, juicy sausage. You can see the potatoes through there. You can see the nice red chile colorado. And don't worry about these black grill marks. We'll be able to wipe those down with a paper towel or a towel once they're done. So again, we're running at 129 degrees internal. I'm slowly gonna start ramping up the temperature to 225 degrees. Now I'm looking for 150 to 155 degrees internal. At that point, we'll pull them off and put them in an ice bath. Stay tuned. All right, so the internal temperature of these sausages has hit 150 degrees. Now it's time to cool them off. But look at this fantastic color. I do have a rag right here that I wet, and I'm just gonna wipe down any of the grill marks and then throw them into an ice bath. But look at that delicious looking plump sausage. Into the bath just to cool them down. Now a lot of people always ask, why if they're cooked, do I put them in an ice bath and then reheat some to eat them for the video? Well, I have found that doing so really creates a nice snap on that casing, okay? So I like to stop the cooking, which is why we're putting it in an ice bath, wiping them off, putting them in the ice bath, and that does something to the casing where you get a really nice snap. Look at that. All right, so I'm gonna pull the rest of these sausages off, wipe them down, and we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so these sausages have cooled off, and I did dry them off, and I have them sitting right here on a paper towel. And I always get asked which vacuum sealer I use to vacuum seal my sausages. This is the one that I use right here. This one is from Fresco. I will be leaving a link inside the description box so you guys can grab yourself one if you'd like. But here's your standard vacuum bag. And the way I package them, just put them inside the vacuum sealer bag. Just like that. Now this vacuum sealer by far is the easiest to use, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of counter space, which I absolutely love as well. Okay, so pack them in there really nice and tight, and all you do from this point is stick the bag down in this groove right here, push it all the way back. Okay, make sure your sausages are nice and straight. All right, just gonna check my bag one more time. So I'm just gonna hit the dry button. Now this is gonna vacuum and seal the bag with the push of one button. Check it out. Okay, so now it's sealing. The seal light is flashing. You can see we have a really nice tight vacuum. All right, just like that, we have a really nice tight vacuum. But before I vacuum all of them, I'm gonna put about 6 of them back in my smoker. I've got it running at 275 degrees. We're gonna taste these bad boys. Stay tuned. All right, so the Chile Colorado sausages are ready, and it only took about 30 minutes running at 275, so that's really quick. And as you can see, they got really nice and plump. And I gotta tell you, these sausages have a really nice, dark, red, rich color. I know that's a lot of R's, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this sausage right here and cut it lengthwise, just so we can take a look at the inside and see what we got. Oh man, extremely juicy. Look at that. Check that bad boy out. You can see the potatoes in there. Nice red color on the inside as well. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Let's give it a try. I gotta tell you, it smells so darn good in this kitchen right now. It smells just like Chile Colorado. So let's bite into one of these sausages. Still pretty warm. Let's see if we have a nice snap. So this smoky sausage tastes just like Chile Colorado. The potatoes are really nice and tender, so make sure that if you're gonna make these, to cut your potatoes really nice and small like I did, but this is absolutely fantastic. It really does take me back. This sausage right here is by far the juiciest, and again, we use 3.5 cups of the Chile Colorado, and it's packed with so much delicious flavor. You guys have got to try this sausage. I hope you guys enjoyed this Chile Colorado sausage video. This is more of a Tex-Mex sausage, you know, the Mexican being the Chile Colorado and the Texas being that Texas style sausage, but this is absolutely delicious. If this is your first time here, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. See ya.